Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is back, everyone. It's been a week. I mean, technically, I was back a few hours ago when I did my first video today. I've done 2 other videos today. So if you haven't seen those, guys, then you have something else to look forward to after this is over. But yeah, guys, it's been an entire week. Now, I did post, so last Friday, what is today? Today is Friday. Today is the 16th. Last Friday, Reese was in town. We went downtown. We did a little bit of walking around. We hit a Starbucks. Reese came out with a coffee. I had a sip of that coffee. And then she was like, this isn't what I ordered. This doesn't taste right. And then she went in and she goes, this isn't it. She goes, this tastes so not right. This is not even the drink that I ordered. I'm going to go tell them this is the wrong drink. She goes in, she comes back out. She says, okay, they made me the drink, but they told me I could keep the other drink. And so I took the other drink and I was drinking and I'm like, yeah, this drink is not good. This doesn't even taste good. But I am a binge drinker and a binge eater. If something is in front of me, I drink it. If something is in front of me, I eat it. And so I'm drinking this coffee and I'm literally like, yeah, this coffee actually tastes like shit. And I drink the whole thing. Now, I'm mentioning that because I thought I had food poisoning. And that's because the next day, Reese also had some sort of a sickness. But I've had food poisoning before, and it doesn't last for a week. And it didn't even occur to me at first that I actually had food poisoning. I thought that what I had was a side effect of weekly semaglutide injections that I had started taking a few weeks prior. So a whole bunch of things were going on in my head. At first, I'm thinking, oh, these are the side effects of the semaglutide shots. Now, guys, semaglutide is basically Ozempic. And I'm sure everyone's heard of Ozempic. And I was like, oh, this has got to be the side effects that everyone says you're going to get from the semaglutide shots. And I want to talk to you guys about the semaglutide because, first of all, I've stopped it now, even though I am 100% convinced the semaglutide had nothing to do with what's been happening to me for the last week. I feel like there might have been a contributing factor. And anyway, I lost all the weight that I was trying to lose anyway. So I'm thinking, this, you take the semaglutide, you can have nausea, you can have diarrhea, you can also have constipation. The side effects of semaglutide, aka Ozempic, are an entire spectrum of stuff. But I thought for sure that this was it. And then when I heard that Reese also had something, I was like, maybe it was food poisoning. But again, guys, I've had food poisoning before, and it's usually gone in 48 hours. I have never in my life experienced what I've been experiencing for the past week. That honestly has only really ended today. So let's see. I think so Friday. After the drink outside of Starbucks, 5 or 10 minutes later, I said, I'm not feeling good, guys. I got to go home. And then I laid down for the rest of that day. I don't think I threw up for the first time until the following day. For me, throwing up is very hard. It's very hard for me to throw up. Almost, even if I feel like I'm going to throw up, I will do everything in my power to avoid it. And I'll usually, ride over it. I threw up 4 separate times. And so I think on Monday, it might have already even been as late as Tuesday. I finally got on the phone with the telehealth people that had prescribed me the semaglutide shots. And I told them that I thought maybe this was a side effect of that. And they said, did you have any nausea? Like, how long have you been on the semaglutide? I'm like, well, 3.5 weeks. They go, but then they explain, it's weekly injections of semaglutide, right? So if you're going to get a side effect, if you take a weekly injection, if it's going to affect you, it's going to affect you most likely and most dramatically after the shot, because the effect of the shot diminishes over the week. And they said, have you ever had any nausea whatsoever or diarrhea when you took the shot for the first time? I'm like, no. And they're like, the chance that you got your first side effects of the shot 3.5 weeks into taking the shot, very, very low. I said, yeah, that makes sense. Probably not the shot. But guys, one of the things that semaglutide does, it makes your stomach empty out slower. It's kind of called gastroparesis. It's partial paralysis of the stomach, which sounds so bad. And I guess it is bad. But it's one of the things, semaglutide basically makes you not hungry. And it makes you full quickly when you eat. And it basically makes it impossible for you to have food cravings. It basically makes it impossible for you to binge eat, which for me is my problem. Binge eating late at night is my problem. I've been trying to lose the same 25 pounds for 4 years. The last time I was in the best shape of my life was just before the lockdowns in March 2020. So maybe in February, January, February 2020, I was in the best shape of my life. And ever since then, I've been trying to lose the same 25 pounds. I do believe that even if I got food poisoning, that the gastroparesis element, the aspect of that, somehow made it worse. And now you'd think, okay, fine. If that keeps it in your stomach longer, wouldn't you just throw it up right away? I don't know anything about that. Maybe gastroparesis also partially paralyzes your ability to throw up. I don't know. I do know that it's very, very, very hard for me to throw up. And I just don't have all the answers, because also I go, but if it was food poisoning, you wouldn't still be experiencing the effects of it 7 days later, 6 days later. I don't have the answers. Also, it's, something can become another thing, which can become another thing. But also on the weight loss stuff, guys, you might be really interested to understand this, or to hear my experience with the weight loss on this thing. Whether it's inspirational or whether it's a cautionary tale, one way or the other. Nobody who knows me would describe me as someone who's overweight. Like, nobody could say that. I'm not an overweight person. But there's a difference between, well, just go to my Instagram profile. And I have before and after photos on my Instagram profile of the 14 week transformation that I went through from like October or November 2019 until January, February 2020. And you'll see, am I fat in the before photo? For me, I am. And I'm definitely in some of the best shape of my life in the after photo. So in my mind, I'm always thinking I need to look like the after photo. And that's not a healthy image to have for yourself, as something you always need to look like. But, as we get older, we get fatter, we get looser, we get saggier. And I've, just been very, very aware that as I get older, I'm 43 now, it's become harder and harder to keep weight off. And it's certainly harder to lose it, especially when I cannot keep myself from binge eating late at night. And I tend to be a night owl. I like staying up late. And so I started taking semaglutide shots for the first time. It's a weekly shot. By the way, I was terrified. I've never given myself an injection before. The needles are like these little insulin, syringes, but the needle is like a little insulin thing. And it's the smallest thing in the world. But for me, it was huge. And anyway, I digress. Okay. I started taking these shots on January 22nd. Day one for me was January 22nd. I weighed 218.4 pounds. Now, just a week earlier, I was up to 222.6. I'm a guy who can fluctuate 5 pounds up or down in a day. I eat a lot. If how much I weigh fully fed and fully hydrated versus a few days clean eating just changes drastically. So, a month or two ago, I probably could have tipped the scales fully fed at 229, but when I started officially on January 22nd, I was 218.4. These shots, it just completely takes away your appetite. So here's my daily progression starting from day one. I'll just read the pounds. I won't read the tenths of a pound. So it goes I'm going to read from day one on: 218, 215, 213, 211, 214, 215, 215, 213, 211. Oh, because when you take a shot in the beginning of the week, you basically have no appetite for 3 or 4 days. And then the shot starts to wear off. and then you start eating. And so, when you start losing weight in the beginning, it's mostly water weight. And so when you're taking a weekly shot and your appetite is fluctuating like this, your daily weight's going to fluctuate largely based on food and water, and you're gradually over the week's going to drop actual body fat. So that's why you're going to see the number jump around like this. 218, 215, 213, 211, 214, 215, 215, 213, 211, 210, 210, 29, 209, 209, 210, 213, 211, 209, 206, 207, 206. Okay. So wait, when was last February? When was last Friday that I would have been down there at Starbucks? What was the date? If today is the 16th, then it would have been, why can't I figure this out? Was it been the 9th? Okay. So 9th, 207. Okay. Yeah. So I remember when I was down there at Starbucks drinking that stuff. I did say on the stream, because someone on the stream mentioned that it looked like I was losing weight. I did say that I was 207. So the morning last Friday, 7 days ago, last Friday, I was at 207.4. And now in my mind, I only wanted to get down to like 200 pounds. And for me, I'm probably more like I should be around 205. But one of the things, in my earlier videos, guys, I used to talk about I trained jujitsu for a number of years. And lately, just due to various injuries and whatnot, I just haven't trained jujitsu in like a year. But I had told myself that I wanted to compete, because you can train jujitsu without competing in jujitsu. You can just train. That I wanted to compete at least once at each belt before being promoted to a higher belt. And I competed at white belt before being promoted to blue belt. And my next promotion would be to purple belt. But I've been there for a long time because I haven't trained in a while. And if I were to compete for my age and my weight class, I need to weigh in fully dressed at like 203 or something like that. And so I need to be at 200 pounds for motivational, hobby, and personal reasons. That was just a goal I set for myself. So a week ago, I was at 207.4. I already knew I wasn't going to be taking Ozempic, or it's not Ozempic, it's semaglutide. I already knew I wasn't going to be taking semaglutide much longer. Lo and behold, I get sick. Okay. Saturday morning, I wake up. I hadn't started compulsory expelling all liquids from my body at this point yet. 206.8 Saturday morning. Sunday morning, I'm at 204. Monday morning, I'm at 200. Tuesday morning, I'm at 197.4. I lost 10 pounds in 4 days. Now, of course, most of that's water weight. I was scared. I was scared. I was drinking and eating as much as I could. And the thing is, I don't want to get too graphic here, guys, but we are talking probably over 15 times a day visiting the bathroom in an explosive way. I'm just being real with you guys. And let's just say, much like Danny Masterson, my butt's been getting pounded this past week. I kept myself from telling that joke in my last two videos, but I had to tell it this time because I've been saying it to myself all week. I was legitimately scared. I wasn't scared when I thought it was a semaglutide side effect. I was like, okay, fine, this sucks, but it's not scary. I wasn't scared when I thought it was food poisoning. I've had food poisoning before. When I no longer had any effing idea what could possibly be making me compulsively and constantly expel everything from my body, like 15 times a day, I was scared. And when I called the semaglutide telehealth people and I told them what was going on, she said, okay, you need to hang up and go to the ER. And I was like, but I think I'm getting a little better. She's like, no, 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 no. You need to go to the ER. And I didn't go to the ER because I'm not going. If I go to the, I'm like, how can I go to the ER when I'm in the bathroom every 45 minutes? What am I going to do? Crap my pants in the ER waiting room? Like, no thank. Like, what am I going to do? Um, and God forbid they wanted to keep me overnight at the ER. It's like the idea of sitting in a hospital bed, crapping in a bucket is like, no, I'd rather die. And plus, there's going to be like an $11,000 medical bill. Like, no, thank you. I'd rather die here in my bed. But I was scared, and 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 it got to the point where I eventually felt totally fine, other than the fact that I couldn't stop having to go to the damn bathroom every hour, basically. And crazily enough, all that changed yesterday when I just took some Imodium AD, you guys. Like the Imodium AD extra special everything. Like I think I just have a blind spot from all my time in Scientology that there are over-the-counter medications that can help you with normal things. I take Advil all the time. I take Advil if I even feel a headache coming on. I'm not again. I don't have an aversion to taking medicine. I think I just have a blind spot that there's a lot of medicine out there that you've never even tried because it's never even occurred to you that you can just go to the damn store and get. Um, I'm sorry. Tuesday or Wednesday, I actually had the IV people. There's these IV services that you can come to the house. It's fantastic service. Um, I had 5 pounds, over 5 pounds of IV fluid yesterday. That was just yesterday, you guys. And that's why, so I had 2 giant bags of saline, with some Pepsid, an extra Pepsid thing for the stomach and some vitamin B. And I think I want to say some magnesium or something like that. But I'll tell you, that's one of the things that started to make me scared because I could feel the physiological effects of having lost all the fluid and the intramuscular fluid and the interstitial fluid and the what is it between the organs, the whatever organ. I mean, if I moved my arm back, my back muscles would start cramping. If I coughed, my stomach muscles would start cramping. If I scratched anything, my chest muscles would start cramping. It's one of these things where it's like a cascading and dwindling situation. That's it's scary. It is scary. So after I got the IV stuff yesterday, I felt fantastic, but it had zero effect on my need to purge everything every hour. Every hour. And I was like, "Oh my god, I thought the IV was gonna be the answer to everything. I thought it was like just fluids will be the magic solution." Oh, that's the other thing. I see a comment that I was taking tons of electrolytes, guys, tons of electrolytes. That's the one thing that actually gave me a little bit of hope is every time I would take the electrolytes, I would actually, it would make me feel so much better. My stomach would actually even calm down. Um, and so I took all took all the IV. It made me feel better physically. It did not fix the fact that my body seemed to become allergic to all food and water. And then I just took some goddamn Imodium AD. And I mean, I've seen the commercials, hearing about it all my life. And I thought to myself, how stupid is it that you've been practically dying here for a week and you haven't even taken a simple over-the-counter medication that specifically says it will get rid of everything that's wrong with you right now. The other thing that that I was doing wrong is anytime my appetite would come back, I would, because at first I was thinking I would have to starve. You could starve away the diarrhea. If you just don't eat anything, there'd be nothing to expel. No, it turns out there's always something to expel, even if it's just water. And I was like, where is the body finding all of this water that's shooting out? I don't have any, I don't have any water in me. Where is it pulling it from? So at first I thought you could starve it away. And then I was like, maybe you can feed it away. You can just stuff so much down there. Now it turns out that works, but only if it's rice and bread And what am I eating right now? Rice, bread, oatmeal, applesauce, crackers. I'm missing something. There's one really good item that I'm rice, bread. Well, rice and the bread is my specialty right now. What is that? What's the brat diet, guys? BRAT, brat diet. Let me look it up real quick. The brat diet. Oh, bananas. Yes. Bananas, rice, applesauce, toast. And I'm throwing in some oatmeal into that as well. Apparently, if you stuff yourself with that, that really does clog the pipes. But see, I didn't know that. And I feel silly there too, because that was just a Google search away. Saltine crackers, of course. That was just a Google search away. And I was Googling everything. I thought I had like a prolapse, what is it? A colon obstruction, a bowel obstruction. What is it when your colon twists? You know, I thought I had everything under the sun, moon, and stars, but apparently, it didn't occur to me to just Google what are the things you should be eating. I was Googling what are the things that are causing this. It didn't occur to me to Google what could I eat that might alleviate what's happening to me right now. So what happened is, as soon as I would get my appetite back, I would just go back to eating regular food. I would get a pizza. I would get steak. I would get sushi. I was eating apples nonstop, but not applesauce, the apples with the skin that has the insoluble fiber. I didn't know this. See, this is stupid. This is really stupid. I'm just going to say it out loud. I didn't know that. I thought eating fiber is what you wanted to do because you wanted to shove a bunch of stuff down the pipes that was going to push everything out. I didn't know that you don't want the fiber. You want the opposite of the fiber. The fiber is going to shoot through you because you can't digest that shit. You need the other stuff. So literally, I mean, on like Monday, on Monday, I think I got out of my house like a zombie. And, I'm like lightheaded. My legs are shaky, but my appetite was back. And I went and picked up a big order of a large cheese pizza and a spaghetti and meatballs. I was eating combos. I like cheddar combos. I was eating just buckets and buckets of watermelon. I was eating stuff that was not going to fix my problem. And so, yeah, it sounds kind of dumb, but that's what happened. And, the reason I decided, I said, I didn't want to go to the ER. I mean, I just couldn't think with it. I'm not against going to doctors, you guys. I just don't actually have a doctor. Like, I don't have a PCP. I mean, I think I might be registered with one that I could go. I've just never, whoever thinks they're my PCP, I've never seen them before. It's not that I don't want to. There's like an inertia problem. And also, I'm really cheap. I'm just be honest. I'm really cheap. I'm cheap on things I shouldn't be cheap on. And then I'm not cheap on other things. And then people started to be like, well, maybe you have salmonella, or maybe you have listeria, or maybe you have E. coli. And so I was Googling all those things. And then I was like, but I don't have a fever. I don't, I feel fine. I don't, other than the obvious. Anyway, this is what's been happening to me the last week. And it wasn't until yesterday when I took the Imodium AD. And then yesterday when I started eating oatmeal, toast. I've had a loaf of bread in the last 24 hours. I mean, I have had like 3 pots of white rice, delicious white Chinese rice, in the last 24 hours. I will gladly trade what I've been experiencing for the past week for some good, healthy garden variety constipation. I will gladly trade one in for the other, and we'll see. We'll see. But guys, I mean, I don't want to be too extreme here, but the type of, the type of pain from hours and hours and hours of abdominal cramping and whatnot is like, I really don't mean to be like, what's the word? when you exaggerate. Hyperbolic here. But it got to a point where I was like, oh, okay. I can understand what is happening when someone who suffers from some sort of chronic pain is like, yeah, I don't want to live anymore. I was like, because I couldn't imagine having to deal with something like that for any longer. I mean, and it also got to the point where, that kind of pain is so exhausting because you're tense and you're fighting it and you're avoiding it and you're trying to, get rid of it or stretch it out. That at a point I got just so exhausted of even just sitting on the throne, if you know what I mean, that I was like, fuck it. I just laid down on the bathroom floor and just laid there, like just give in, give up, And and that's what it's been like for the last week, you guys. That's what it's been like it's been crazy. And so anyway, having lost 10 pounds from Friday to Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then I forget what happened. I was back up to 200 pounds on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, the IV people came. And then after they left, I was up to 203 pounds, which was weird because I had a lot more than 3 pounds of fluid. And then the 16th, what is today? Today's the 16th. This morning, I was back down to 202 pounds. And then I've eaten so much food today, and it's been such a good day for me in the other department that I think I'm at 206 right now. So I'm almost back up to where I was a week ago. And magically enough, I'm no longer really preoccupied with losing weight. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just fine. Because even if the semaglutide had nothing to do with everything that happened, it doesn't matter. To me, they're equated in my mind now. It just doesn't even matter. And it's like, you know what? I started this journey at 218. If I'm at 206 right now, I can lose the last 6 pounds with just normal discipline and dedication and diet and exercise and not eating 3,000 calories at 1 o'clock in the morning just because I can't control myself. You know what I mean? It's craziness, guys. Never experienced anything like this in my entire life. Absolutely not. So, for you doctors in the chat, if I feel good now, if my digestive expulsion problems are no longer an issue, is there any reason for me to get checked out for any sort of virus or bacteria? Because I'm not opposed to doing it. My problem with going even to an urgent care clinic, honestly, was how am I going to go to an urgent care clinic when I'm basically destroying the bathroom every hour? I don't trust myself. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I don't know what to do about that. So honestly, now that I can, make my way in the world without worrying about what's going to happen, I'll just go, anything I need to do, I can do. I can just go to an urgent care place. You don't have to go to the ER. Maybe some of you guys can explain to me, why do you have to go to the ER to get something like that checked out? Why is the ER the only place that you can go? Yeah. Anyway, I guess I was going to try to turn this into an AMA maybe. But I don't have anyone here helping me star. Hey, Barb, are you watching? If you're watching, you can jump into the chat and help me star some questions. Actually, you know what? There's a whole bunch of people who may not even remember that they are admins on my StreamYard. Those people are Marilyn, Mike Brown, Natalie Webster, Reese, Sterling, and my lawyer friend, Zach. If any of you want to jump into the back and help me start questions, you totally can. You can feel free. I do not mind. Let me just start with some super chats then, and we'll see if I can find some normal questions as well. Okay, Olga, so good to see you back. The world is back to normal. Is it me, or was that Starbucks drink spiked? Hi, Marilyn. She's gonna help me. Is it me, or was that Starbucks drink spiked? Coincidence that you both got sick? Just speculating. Olga, I would guess no, that Starbucks is not owned or run by Scientology. I guess I couldn't swear to you that there's no Scientologists who work there, but man, that would be a really well executed plan if they had done something like that. I nor any of my fellow streamers have ever stopped at that Starbucks that I know of, and in in all the time that we've been doing downtown stuff. So I'm gonna guess no, but I do know that a lot of people have thought that that may be what occurred. Okay, Electric Boogaloo got salmonella for a week, needed antibiotics. Yes. So I was trying to get a telehealth appointment to get some penicillin just in the event, because I looked up, okay, so if it's salmonella or if it's E. coli or if it's listeria, are they all just treated with antibiotics? The answer was yes. And I was like, okay, let me just get some penicillin just in case. And then Heather was trying to help me get that telehealth appointment. And I don't remember why it didn't happen. But I know that's something we were trying to do at some point. And yeah, I feel great now though, right? So should I still get any antibiotics? I'm thinking no. Should I still get tested for any of those dietary things? I'm thinking no, but I'm not entirely sure. Thank you for that electric boogaloo. Trisha Briggs, AA Run, so glad you're back. After these last few years of watching you every single day, it's been close to withdraw. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you, Trisha. It was strange for me as well. It was very strange. And then it got very, very comfortable. I'll admit, I got a little spoiled not having to think about videos for a week. Every day I woke up and I was like, oh, I don't have to do any videos today. Whereas normally, generally, I really want to do videos. It's so much easier to do them when you're already in the habit of doing them. And it's so much harder to do them when you're in the habit of not doing them. Thank you, Trisha. Franny's Pharma Fleas. Franny's Pharma Flea Drops for declared dogs. Oh, Franny's Pharma Flea Drops for declared dogs. Oh, I love it. So glad to see you back, Aaron. Thank you, Franny. Appreciate it. Laura Estrada says, AA Run. So happy you're back. Stomach viruses are so traumatic. When you think you can't possibly barf one more time, it's terrifying. I have panicked through having the same thing. It's so terrifying and you feel so helpless. There's nothing you can do to make it stop. Blake Reed says, Blake, always good to see you. That is a little extra for food poisoning. I think maybe you were dead poisoned. I would stay away from that Starbucks. Glad you're back though. Yes. Oh, this is the other thing that I noticed. Thank you for that, Blake. Is that every single thing I had been eating in my house is something that even thinking about eating would make me feel sick. So like I got an espresso machine recently and I've been drinking a lot of espresso. Oh, that's the other thing. I thought maybe, by the way, as I was, figuring out the instructions and calibrating all the settings on the espresso machine, I was just drinking like tons and tons and tons of espresso because I'm so cheap. I didn't want to throw the espresso out if I brewed it. So, so there were probably some days I had like 10 or 15 shots of espresso. And I mentioned that to someone and they're like, oh, of course that's why you got sick. I'm like, but is it really? Like, could that really make you sick? All I know is that even thinking about espresso for the last week would make me want to be sick. But then even looking at most of the stuff in my fridge would also make me want to be sick. I don't know. Maybe that's just, something that happens when you have a gastro stomach related sickness. That just kind of happens. But definitely not going back to that Starbucks. That's what reminded me of that, Blake, is the Starbucks. I never go to Starbucks because I always drink coffee and here at home. So definitely not going back. Okay. Oh, and I also heard, guys, that there has been this just a stomach flu going around anyway. That was the other thing. Okay. Farah Lunaris. My husband had your exact symptoms for a week as well. Doctor said there was a stomach virus going around lasting that long. That is one thing that started to alleviate my fear the last 2 or 3 days, is that it's not crazy for this type of thing to last for a week or longer. It's just crazy. It's never happened to me before. And then, of course, it made me wonder, though, like, for it to last that long, it couldn't be food poisoning. But if it couldn't be food poisoning, then I must have some sort of an infection. But if I have some sort of an infection, how's it ever going to go away? Anyway, so yeah, it totally could be whatever this stomach virus was. And maybe it's just kind of a happy coincidence that I just took the Peptid AC yesterday. Like maybe I just happened to take an effective drug at a time that coincided with when the thing was naturally ending anyway, which is kind of a happy accident. But I'll tell you, I'm a new fan, a new believer, a new promoter of Peptid AC. And actually, it was the special one. So let me look it up. Maybe we'll get a new sponsor out of this. Peptid A. It's not the maximum strength. What's the one with the extra? I can't believe I'm looking this up. Peptid AC. Come on now. Where is it? Can't give up now. Oh, come on. You're kidding me. Oh, I probably got it in my phone. Oh, here it is. Did I say Peptid AC? Sorry. Imodium AD. No wonder I can't find it. Imodium AD multi-symptom relief. Yeah. Imodium multi-symptom relief. Peptid AC. What am I talking about? Peptid was for the IV liquid. Yeah. There you go. Thank you, Farah. All right, here we go. Linda Indrisi. Hey, Aaron, so glad you're better. At the Scientology Watchers, my new channel for Australian footage of orgs, but I need 50 subscribers to live stream. All right, guys. Well, check out Linda Idrisi's channel at the Scientology Watcher. Let's see if we can get her live stream activated. That's awesome, Linda. Thank you so much. Oh, Susanna. Yep, you're telling my story. Imodium is a godsend. Make sure you hydrate. Yeah, thankfully, that is the one thing I've been doing well at. Thank you, oh, Susanna. All right, let's see. Dina81. If you have a Quest or LabCorp near you, you can order a lab test kit without a prescription for $100. A lab test kit. But what are you testing? It better not be what I think you're saying. I'd rather die. Oh my goodness. Let's see. NTR Bay, Hunter Bay. Wasn't there a court date for you today? I think you were talking about Patrick Perry's, the guy who attacked me in Los Angeles. I believe he had a hearing today for his arraignment. I only learned about that because someone told me about it. I've not been contacted by anyone in the district attorney's office or whatever the right office would be out in LA. I've not been contacted in any way, shape, or form requesting my presence. I was also told by someone else who said, oh, if this is just an arraignment, there's no reason that you would ever be there at all. So I don't know what happened today. I don't know if it actually happened. I'm assuming it did. I haven't received any update or anything like that. But I hope to. I have a feeling they're going to try to just let him go. But if they do, that won't be the end of it because we suing. So yeah, more to come on that. Okay, Lori Plays comment. George and I also got coffees there at the same time, same order. And Lori, I assume that you and George were okay because I don't think I heard anything from you guys about that. So yeah. It is also possible, again, that it was multiple factors. That maybe because Reese had some, stomach problems, but only for like a day and a half, 2 days at most. And so maybe we both got a mild little thing of something, and then my thing turned into another thing or piggybacked on a stomach virus, something like that. Anything really is possible, Oh, silver lining. Had exactly the same symptoms when we were in Cairo last fall. Did the diet as you for a while after things settled down. Took a while to feel better. Yeah. Yeah, I've been overseas to some of the East Asian countries, and had similar things as well. And even in Japan one time, man, I was so messed up. Still didn't even compare to what happened here. It's just me says, I have gastric paresis. I have to try and avoid high fiber foods as well as greasy foods. Give the shots time to work out of your system. Oh, yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to say about the shots. I was still only on the introductory dose of these things. So whatever is considered a full dose, I was still on a quarter dose. For the first month, you take a quarter dose every week. And then for the second month, you take a half dose every week. And then the third month, you take a full dose. I was only on my third 1/4 dose. So my last injection was, if I pull up, my last injection was on February 6th. So I'm already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm already 10 days past my last injection, and I've canceled it all. I'm not going to take any more. Thank you for that. It's just me. Down the rabbit hole, Alex the Rabbit. Great to see you. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. The Free Xenu Project says, years ago, I ate really expired Greek yogurt, and it was insane how bad dairy can mess you up, Aaron. I'm glad you're feeling better. Thank you. And, until recently, whole vitamin D milk is one of my favorite things to drink. I love milk. I can sit down and drink half a gallon of milk in a sitting. When I say that I'm a binge eater and binge drinker, it's hard to fully appreciate what that means until you see me in action. Tommy will tell you, when we were in LA, a whole bunch of us went out to eat somewhere, and a whole bunch of plates of fries were delivered, and I wasn't even hungry. And he just watched me inhale those things. It's a compulsion. It's a compulsion. And milk and dairy is one of my favorite things to inhale. But the last few months, I've just been kind of drifting away from it for whatever reason. And thankfully I didn't have to fight that urge. Could you imagine if that's one of the things that I was doing during this past week? Every time I started to get my appetite back, was just like wolfing down vitamin D milk and wondering why I wasn't getting any better. Oh my goodness. Michelle Carter says blood work. Yes, I have actually been meaning to get blood work done for a while. It's so stupid because it would probably take me an hour. Like I could probably pick any local place in an hour driving there, the appointment, driving back. It's so lame. I am a pathological procrastinator. I really do want to get blood work done. So maybe one of these days I will. Okay, let's see. Ann Bell says, what a crazy week without your videos. I had to resort to going over old content. It was great. Welcome back, Aaron. You were missed. Thank you so much. There were some people asking, I could have just re-uploaded some old videos or something like that, but that just seems like a mean thing to do. The old videos are already there. Anybody can go find them. So anyway, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Question. Does the pain shoot into your back? The only back pain that I've had the last few days, and I attributed this to the dehydration, is just getting out of bed. And I'd be like, oh God, I am someone who has a bit of a history of back problems. But I didn't have shooting back pain in addition to the abdominal cramping, if you mean that kind of pain. No, just normal kind of lower back pain getting out of bed when I was really dehydrated. Thank you for that question, Kathleen. Jazzy J, Aaron, a body is an engine. So yes, you need to get it tuned up. Imagine if you never got your car tuned up until it broke down. Excellent point. I will take that to heart. Thank you very much. Tell me more. So how was Reese feeling past the next day? Reese was better pretty quick. Reese was better in a couple days. She was good enough that the following Saturday, she was able to go downtown. Whereas for me, that wasn't even an option. No. Or the following Friday night, she was able to go downtown already. And for me, that wasn't even an option. She's been fine. Serenity, have you been able to keep up with the Squirrel Squad doings? I haven't been able to watch their streams as much as possible, but I've been getting the updates. And I did catch up on some of the La Poubelle excitement. I'm a big fan of what's going on out there at La Poubelle. I'm a big fan of how they're following up, how Streets is following up on what the LAPD is doing out there. Like 6 LAPD officers showed up just to escort Francoise Coster to her car at the end of the night. Wow. What an unbelievable misuse of public funds. And DOA, oh my God, what a rock star. DOA is such an animal out there. He's amazing. I've got so many people who are like, I just can't stop watching DOA. Like, it's much as my favorite thing to watch in the evening now. So what a great addition he's been. What I think it was it early on. Was it early on in my illness? I got to watch DOA set up a hammock between the trees right outside on the sidewalk right outside of AOLA, and I was like, oh my God, he has just raised the game. Oh, it's been amazing. Okay. Mara video. Aaron, what is your BMI? I prefer to look at it to keep healthy rather than focus on a specific weight. Yeah. Now, the only way I can measure my BMI is the gym that I go to has one of these special little scales that you stand on and you hold the handles and it gives you the whole readouts. I have not done that in years. But I understand what you're saying. Generally speaking, I'm not focused on my weight only because body composition is what matters more. It's just that I already work out a lot and I already have a pretty decent like frame of muscle on my frame. And I know that if I am heavy, it is because of my fat levels. But yes, you'll see what I mean. If you look at the before and after photos on my Instagram account, you'll see what I mean. Like it'll look like I gained a whole lot of muscle in 12 weeks. You can't gain a whole lot of muscle in 12 weeks. You can firm things up a little bit, but everything you're seeing there was already there. I just got rid of the fat that was on top of it. So the answer, I don't actually know what my BMI is because I don't measure it. But thank you for the question. Blake Reed says, I would get tested, especially since you lost that much weight and from what you went through. Always force yourself to get medically evaluated. I think you're right. And I am going to have to force myself for sure. Joel Orlando, I had food poisoning in Mexico. So painful, I wanted to die. Yeah. Oh, in Mexico, that would be scary too. And a way to ruin a vacation. When I hear people say they went on vacation like on a cruise and they were sick the whole week, or I go, oh man, could you imagine? Not only do you feel terrible physically, but you've ruined all the time and the money for the vacation. And you guys know me, I'm cheap, so the money is what would matter more. Donald Webster, I deal with IBS at least bi-monthly. Glad you're better. Yeah, and that's what I started to worry about as well. I'm like, I'm like, have I actually developed some sort of legitimate condition now? Like, am I someone who has a condition now? Is this going to be who I am now from now on? I'll get it. Like, can't venture more than 30 minutes away from my bathroom in one way. That's the kind of stuff I started to worry about. Mary Grubbs, so happy to see you back. Missed you much. Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. Squirrel SPTV, espresso can cause excessive BMs. Yes, it can. And yes, thank you. Cassie Isaac, glad you're back, man. FYI, Confident Chris and LA Cam dressed up in suits and are acting like security for La Poubelle. Oh my God. It is gold. Hope to see you in the chat tonight. I will definitely jump in there. Someone told me today, and I'm assuming this is not a secret. Someone told me today that LA Cam works at an ice cream store. And as soon as I heard that, all I could think of was Stranger Things and the guy that works at the ice cream store and the little hats that they wear at the ice cream store. And I thought LA Cam needs to go get himself one of those hats. It's like a little sailor's hat, right? And then I started to think how the whole Squirrel Squad kind of reminds me of the Stranger Things cast. And it's just so funny. Yeah, I got to check them out in suits. That's really amazing. Karen Castenda, Amendium, Amanadium. What the heck is Amonadium? Now I got to Google it. Amonadium. I think you're trying to say Imodium. Oh, were you trying to say Imodium when I was saying Pepsid? That's what I'm guessing is going on here. I think that's what you're doing, because otherwise I don't get it. Thank you for that. That's me, Gigi. I have IBS, and the dumbest things can cause a flare-up. Also, Starbucks now has olive oil coffee. That could have been the crappy tasting coffee. Maybe. I don't know. Olive oil coffee. What the Jesus? That's the weirdest thing I ever heard. Carrie, norovirus has those exact symptoms and usually lasts for about 7 days. It is crazy nasty. All right. So I'm going to open up a Google tab for later. Did I have norovirus? Because I'm going to feel really good if I Google this and I realize, oh, there's nothing I could have done anyway. It's okay. It's okay that I didn't go to see a doctor because there's nothing I could have done. That's going to make me feel a lot better. Because right now I feel really, really silly that I went through all this without seeing a doctor. I feel like a total dumbass. And I just feel so lucky that the Imodium AD and the new diet worked. I literally was like, because here's what was going through my mind. If something's wrong with me, is an honest chronic bacterial viral thing that's not going to go, because I've had like sometimes when I get sick, I'll get an ear infection, and it'll be a viral one, right? So the antibiotics won't make it go away, and it will last for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it absolutely kills. So I already have this previous experience of knowing that you can have something that doesn't go away and it lasts for weeks. And I started to think, what if what's wrong with me is something that can't be treated with antibiotics? And this is going to last for weeks. Like this, I don't even know how I would deal with that. Anyway, I totally lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys. Okay, Mary, banana, rice, applesauce, and toast has saved me so many times. Yeah, it's I will never forget this. If I ever even have a hint of a problem like this, I'm just gonna for me, guys, the white rice and the white toast. Oh my God. First of all, it's absolutely delicious. I just love it. And stuffed everything right up. Who knows, guys? Right now, the dam is so plugged, the dam might break later and we might have a whole other problem, but we'll see. We'll see. Dino81 says blood work. Yeah, definitely got to get blood work. Nikki Shusaw. Aaron, I was beginning to get worried. Osa got to you. I know. I knew people were thinking that because I hadn't posted anything since like Saturday on my community tab. But yeah. Alyssa Paradis, code enforcement is investigating the tent in front of La Poubelle. They were there tonight. They were taking pictures of the tent. Yes. I heard Streets was going to get that done. It turns out those guys have a permit. La Poubelle has a permit for alfresco dining. I don't know what alfresco means. Let me look it up. Alfresco. Oh, what does it mean? Outdoor. No, what does it mean? Definition. Alfresco. Oh, yeah, outdoor in the open air. They have a permit to put tables out there on the sidewalk. They do not have a permit just to close the sidewalk off with a tent to stick their security guards and their smokers in there. And Streets is one smart cookie, man. And he's like, nope, I'm gonna get you guys shut down. You don't get he's like, you don't get to close this sidewalk off just to put your security guards here. Your permit doesn't give you the right to do that. You've got to put tables. You've got to put diners here. And that's amazing that code enforcement actually showed up that quickly. That is fantastic. Okay. Kenda Links, glad you're back. I could make lots of comments, but also a binge eater. Hard to lose weight. Not willing to follow your Aaron diet plan. Yeah, I don't recommend it. I won't lie. As painful as it was, every morning I woke up and I stepped on that scale. I was like, at least there's some positive coming out of this. Now, of course, I knew most of that weight I was losing was not body fat, but some of it was because I'm in such a caloric deficit. Some of it is going to be body fat, but after going through it for that long, I just don't care anymore. I'm just ready for ice cream and pizza and wings and burgers and sushi. I'm ready for it all. Valerie Boljak, thank you so much. Bali belly is a real thing, says Charisse Peters. Peters? Peters? One of those. Thank you, Charisse. Okay. Witchy Trista. When we were all concerned about you in Reese's Facebook group, someone said he'll be fine and he'll come back excited about the weight he lost from it. Yes. Well, it's funny. I actually look like I've lost more weight than I have because I still look very gaunt and hollow. I probably have some more fluids that need to be regained. And also, I'm probably holding about 4 pounds of rice and bread in my stomach right now. So the truth is, what did I said I was up to 202. I was at 206 before I came over here on the scale. You know, I guess yes, I am happy with the weight that I've lost, but I'm not happy with the price that I paid. It's was not necessary. Okay, Barbara Swanson says, comment, some parasites will create cyclical episodes and long-term damage your entire GI tract. I do encourage you to find a good test center. I will get tested one way or the other. I have no reason. I have no parasites, guys. I'm a clean eater. Okay. I'm not eating no raw meat. I do, except for tuna. I do like the sushi, but that's a different beast. Yeah, let's not talk about parasites. Okay. I don't like the parasites. Okay. Big Z 1979. Question: do you like chamomile tea? I drink it nightly for my own gut health. It will soothe your belly. I pretty much like all tea, but I don't drink tea just because I kind of can't be bothered. Like I don't have tea in the house. But actually Heather might have brought me over some chamomile tea. I'll check it out. But that my belly, if you actually mean my belly feels great. The problem has been what happens after the belly. Okay. Let's see what is next. Probiotics are a fab idea. Yep, definitely need to get on that. Okay, Misty. Yes, Aaron, you're pregnant. SPIT says, wife and I did sushi with George last night. He was trying to get you. Oh, he was trying to get you to tempt fate. Oof. Smart move on taking an extra day. That's right. George did text me last night. What did he say? That's right. I'm at Charlie's Sushi after filming tonight. Can I bring you some sushi? Kai and I did some short lives. Yes. Yeah, last night was not the night. Tomorrow night might be the night. Let's see. Big Z 1979. If you end up going to Cedar Point, the Detroit org is only about 2 hours north of there. See, now I'm a guy for whom 2-hour drive is a long drive. Yeah, 2 hours is a long drive for me. But so I couldn't imagine going all the way to Ohio to go to a roller coaster park and then being like, oh wait, is the org just 2 hours away? Let's just jump over there and check it out. And then when we're done, maybe we'll catch a bite to eat. So yeah, no, those trips would definitely end up being separate trips, but I didn't realize that. Is it Ohio? Is that where it is? Let me look it up. Cedar Point. Oh, those are all the roller coasters that are there. Yeah, but yeah, Ohio. It is in Ohio. Really? The Detroit org? I must not know my U.S. geography very well. The Detroit org is only 2 hours from Ohio. All right, so let me do this. Cedar Point to Detroit directions. Look at that. It sure is 2 hours north. Yep. I definitely wouldn't have passed that on a test. Thank you for that. Khazri of Hekatai. I always get this wrong. Khazri. Oh God, I always get it wrong. Hekatai. We're going to go Khazri of Hekatai.com. I'm sorry, Khazri. I get this wrong every single time. Glad you're feeling better. Did you miss our 7-person action at the Portland Org with Liz Gale and Jeff Hawkins? You're kidding me. I didn't even hear about this. So yes, I did miss it. Khazri, can you email me a link? Because that'll make sure that I don't forget to follow up on this. I absolutely would love to see that. And I'll do a little highlight video on it. That's amazing. That is so cool that you guys got a whole group out there. I'm excited. Carpe Imodium, Gatorade all day, bro. Gatorade electrolyte, water, and Imodium as needed. Well, that's the other thing I was going to say. I was actually pounding the Gatorade, but it turns out that drinking a whole bunch of sugar drink is not really also what you want to be doing. And you can get the electrolytes with non-sugar drinks as well, or just take, the powders and the packets and stuff. That was another thing that I thought maybe I was doing wrong. But I was drinking a lot of Gatorade. That's the one thing I really had going for me. Rusty. That medicine is for blood sugar control, not just weight control. Were you monitoring your blood sugar? By the way, I recommend cola as a cure for some tummy stuff. Yes, well, this is definitely part of the controversy surrounding semaglutide and the affiliated name brand drugs, is that it is intended for diabetes. And it's sort of a happy accident that it is a weight loss drug. The truth is, Russ, they don't require you to monitor your blood sugar when you're taking this. If you're not diabetic, you don't need to be monitoring your blood sugar. And also, it's a weekly shot. So it's not like if your blood sugar is high or low, you're going to do something with the medication. It's just when you're taking it for weight loss purposes, which is an off-label use, but is the main use of the drug at this point in the United States. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you now, after all these things have been, I've been going through all this the past week. People have just been sending me video after video and article after article about all the terrible, terrible, terrible effects of these drugs. And for me, it's kind of like, even if the drug wasn't what caused what I've been going through the last week, it's at least given me a really good excuse to stop taking it, because it is a little scary. The articles and the news coverages and what has happened to about 0.5% of the people who take it it's pretty scary, to be perfectly honest. All right, let's see. What does this mean, Blake? Before you get checked, just say this. Fear is the mind killer. It helps me let them do their job with peace. When it passes, only I will remain. When you get checked, what are you referring to exactly? Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, when the IV lady came, I was like, look, I'm kind of freaking out. I'm terrified of needles. And she said, yeah, all men are. The people who do these IV visits, they're all registered nurses. And this nurse particularly had a lot of experience working in an ER. She was an ER nurse, and so she was very, very good. And she said, yeah, believe it or not, like pretty much all men are terrified of needles. And I'm like, okay, look. She's like, do you want me to tell you when I'm going to do it, or do you want me to surprise you? I'm like, oh my God, don't surprise me. Oh my God, don't surprise me. You have to tell me when you're going to do it. I said, but I'm going to look away and I'm going to cover my eyes, but tell me when, so I know not to jerk my arm away. And they don't even warm the fluid up. It's cold ass fluid. And I thought it was going to go in my right arm and go like away from my heart, and my arm would get cold. It went in my left arm and it was going directly up, and my arm was freezing. It was the weirdest sensation. And because there was so much fluid, the IV took an hour, and I had to hold my arm up, flat like this. I had to rub it the entire time just to keep it from falling asleep and kind of freezing up. But Yeah. But Blake, that's what I should have said when she was putting that needle in. Fear is the mind killer. Thank you for that. Let's see. Big Z, when are you going back to the gym? In the next day or two. I think if I wake up tomorrow and I feel like, what happened is when I wake up, what's been happening is I just feel like depleted. Like I feel lightheaded. I feel spacey. I feel a little weak. And, I don't want to go back to the gym until I feel really, really already strong. But, probably the next couple of days. Up Mayo says, did you get enough to eat as a kid? What? It's funny. I always talk about how we grew up really poor as a kid. And it really pisses my mom off when I say that because she doesn't think that we did. And I go, well, you weren't the poorest kid in our neighborhood. I was. So I guess what I was going to say is, yeah, of course I ate enough. But we were, in our house, we had that rule. The kitchen was only open during certain hours. And during other hours, the kitchen was closed. You were not allowed to go into the kitchen and get any food. And that was just because if we did, the food would all disappear. And next time someone had to go make dinner, the food wouldn't be there. So I guess the honest statement is we were food restricted, but I'm not necessarily sure that's a bad thing. I mean, these days you look at all the kids and you're like, geez, some of these kids could use some food restriction. We were not malnourished kids or anything. Here's the stories I like to tell. Why I always say my kids, whenever anyone asks me about something about our childhood, I'll say, "Nah, we were too poor for that." So like we grew up in mostly the suburbs of like Haddonfield, New Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Malvern, Pennsylvania, and these are not poor areas. Like Malvern, PA, Haddonfield, PA, you probably couldn't buy a house there for less than $1 million. But it's like we were simply the poorest kids in our school. That's kind of what it came down to because everyone else in the school was rich and we were the kids getting the free lunches. And when you go to the lunch line, you get the free lunches. You got the big freaking I'm poor free lunch sticker. And everyone else is bringing the brown bag lunch with their high C's and this. And we're like, it was embarrassing as a kid to be the poorest kid in school. My mom hates it when I talk about my childhood this way, but it's my childhood. What the hell? I was talking about that for a reason. Food restriction, being the poor. Oh. So like, like to the point where we'd be embarrassed to have friends stay over because, normal kids have like the brand name cereals and the normal milks. And we had like the bags of puffed wheat and like rehydrated powdered milk. That's embarrassing if you're a kid in school. That's embarrassing. So, so there's a certain amount. That's a kind of another type of food restriction is the type of food. So, and I don't know why you asked me that. Oh, because I'm a binge eater and a binge drinker. You nailed it. Absolutely. That's why I'm a food hoarder. I am a food hoarder. Oh, and it's why I'm so cheap. Marilyn's in the back like, yes, that's the reason. Yes, that is a really good point. I'm cheap on the ridiculous things and then not cheap on other things. Like it's anyway, I won't belabor it. It gets silly. I'm trying to change my ways, guys. Okay, Carpe Imodium. Love the name. Actually, could this be dysentery? Okay, now I'm going to open up another Google tab. Did I have dysentery? All right, we'll revisit that. I don't know much about it. Oh, okay. I just know that Gatorade and Imodium have saved many a village from this in the third world. Oh, amazing. I love it. Duchess Diana. Aaron, I swear you had this experience with Imodium a few years ago. Am I crazy? Look back at an old video. Otherwise, I'm having a deja vu. No joke. Yeah, you're crazy. I did not have this experience a few years ago. Or I'm crazy and I have memory loss. One or the other. Either is possible at this point. Zigma 182. Symptoms sound like Anthrax poisoning? I think you meant anthrax, not anthrax. But okay, I'll open up another tab. Did I have anthrax poisoning? And if I don't get a good result on that, I will look up anthrax as well. Bigsy wants to know, what did I do to pull it in? Yes. You know what I did to pull it in? I didn't have a room set up for Reese. That's what I did to pull it in. You know, I said, Reese, I hope you like your air mattress. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go stay with Barbara. You know, and then she got here and she went right to Barbara's. Free Xenu project. Someone needs to tell Starbucks, just because you can mix things up and sell it as a drink does not necessarily mean that you should. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see what else we have here. That's me, Gigi. Also glad you're back. YouTube isn't the same without you. Thank you so much, Gigi. I appreciate it. Oh, Eat More Pizza asked the same question. What did you do to pull in the sickness? Asking for a friend. Yeah, well, that was the answer. Same answer. Karen N says, maybe you were already coming down with something and your taste buds were off when you drank that coffee. Fat turns into some water with weight loss. Karen, fat does not turn into water. I don't mean to laugh at you, Karen. I was laughing at what you said. Fat does not turn into water. I promise you that. Okay. Peggy says, had the exact same thing a few weeks ago. Pretty sure it's some stomach virus. Still not 100%. Okay. That is making me feel a lot better. Okay. So let me Google another thing for later. What is the big stomach virus that's going around? And also, how did I get it? None of my kids got it. Heather didn't get it. No one else I was out with that day got it. How would I have gotten it? Rebecca Carey says, withdrawal symptoms were as bad for us as your bug was for you. We still need answers to the MRAF debacle. So glad you are back. I wonder what answers there are to get still. I feel like all the answers are out there at this point. I'm ready to sort of get on with business, if you know what I'm saying. If any new developments happen, I'm happy to visit them. But I'm hoping to not revisit anything just for the sake of revisiting anything. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Arta A, lots of poop talk between you and Reese's live last night. How she can't go number 2 on a plane. Oh yeah, no, I will not. I go into travel mode, if you know what I'm saying. I will not use an airplane bathroom, except for number 1. I will not. It is the one religious belief that I have. Do not ever use the airplane bathroom for real business. For me, it's actually an automatic. It's like it's an involuntary physiological reaction. I just go, my body just holds on to everything while I'm traveling. Thank goodness. It knows how I feel about it. Thank you, Arta A. And Blake Reed it's from Dune. Oh, I've never seen Dune or read it. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. You need to watch the new movies. They are phenomenal. That is actually, I was looking, during this last week for things I could watch. I wish I had taken the opportunity to watch that. Maybe I'll try to watch it tonight. Thank you, Blake. I'll check it out. Yak Mayhoff, my good friend Yak. Yak, it's been a while since I've seen you. Welcome back. Please bring back every day is a good day for DM to suck it. I did say that once, didn't I? That was very spicy of me. I remember being very proud of myself for pulling that off in a video. And you're right. I should bring that back as a regular. I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you, Yak. Okay. Well, I will tell you what. How about we wrap it up there, you guys? What time is it? Oh my God, it's 11:20. Yeah, let's wrap it up there. This has been a lot of fun. Glad I had an opportunity to tell you guys what was going on. Hope it wasn't too graphic, but I think it was all right. Hope you guys don't mind. I see one last minute here one. Rapids 444. I got C. diff out of nowhere. Supposed to only be from antibiotics or nursing home, but hadn't done either. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Okay, so now I've got to look that up. Define C. Oh, C. difficult. Oh, C. diff. Oh, it's known as C. diff, also known as Clostridiasis. Wait, Clostridioides. Damn it, I don't know how to pronounce it. Anyway, it's just called C. diff, guys. And it says it is a germ that causes, diarrhea and colitis. Oh, inflammation of the colon. I see. Yes, that sounds like it sucks. Sorry you had to go through that. Yikes. Sydney Mo, I've missed your humor and attitude so much. Liz, Gail, Natalie have been keeping us company. Natalie's been killing it, guys. Natalie, of all the SPTV channels, has the second highest most views currently. She's got over 500,000 monthly views right now. And that's just the run rate that she's on. She's absolutely kicking butt. I'm loving her daily wrap-ups, her daily summaries. Fantastic. Absolute amazing way to use channels, use each other to help create content. I absolutely love it. Silver Serpent says, we should start a fitness group. We can share our wins and loses. Hold each other accountable with compassion. A spinoff from this channel. Anyhow, I'm down if it ever comes up. If someone wants to do something like that, I might be interested in it. Perhaps. All right, guys, let's wrap it up there. Otherwise, it'll go on forever. Thank you for hanging out with me this evening. It's good to be back. It's good to see you all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches. Until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not,